Hi, I'm Whitney Allison. Welcome to Bike Sports TV Garage. Today we're learning how to put on a tubeless tire. Bike Sports TV Garage. I've been racing bikes for a long time on the road. Usually they had tubes. Now in the gravel scene, tubeless is the most common thing. So we're gonna learn how to put on a tubeless tire today. So to set up our tubeless tires, we are going to need several pieces of equipment today. So the first one is isopropyl alcohol. It doesn't have to be a fancy bike thing. You can just literally have a bottle of it, like from your first aid kit or whatever you have laying around the house. Next up, we need some tubeless tape. I have this NV tape here, and I also have WTB. The purpose of rim tape is that it's going to cover the spoke holes on our rim, and that's going to help create the sealed environment that we need when we put on our tubeless tire. You're going to need enough tape to make 2 full circles around each wheel. Rim tape does come in different widths, so you're going to want something that is as wide, if not a tiny bit wider, than the internal width of your rim. Next up, we have our tubeless valve. So even though we're missing that tube, we still need that valve because we need to be able to put air into it. So I have a muck off set up here. I got it because it's pink and that is one of the Bike Sports colors. Tire levers. Next up, we have sealant. There are many kinds, but there's only one WTB. I like this one because it has chunks of magic in it that help with a larger puncture that you might have. What do the chunks look like? Is it glittery?
Like rubber boogers.
And of course, a tire. There are many tires. You're gonna want a tubeless one. All right, so we got our NV SES wheel. We're gonna use the isopropyl alcohol to wipe the rim so that it's clean and the tape sticks. Step 2, tape the rim. You're going to start the tape just before the valve. You're gonna pull it tight and make sure it's centered, and we're gonna do 2 revolutions around the wheel. And it's important to get it straight, so this is like my worst nightmare. The tension's really important, and that will make sure that air cannot squeeze out the sides. Some scissors. I'm a lefty, so make sure you have left-handed scissors. I don't want to get stranded. Step 3, find sharp object to poke hole through the tape. I think that you could use like a Phillips head screwdriver that's small. I always get get flathead and Phillips screwed up sometimes. So with our tiny hole, we're gonna now take our valve and shove it through. And make sure that the valve nut is only finger tight, and that way, if and when you do flat, you can actually get it off. So back when tubeless was new, I was on a ramble ride with Zack, and he used needle nose pliers to tighten this little nut thing and hucked it off a rock and double flatted. We're in the wilderness and hadn't seen anybody for hours. Lo and behold, an ATV rolls up and shows up with needle nose pliers, comes to the rescue, and Zack is the luckiest person I know. Step 4, we're gonna mount the tire. Today we're gonna mount the WTB byway in a 40. So tubeless tires are really hard to get on. We're gonna use the tools at our disposal to get this sucker on. I feel like a lot of videos, they just magically pop it on. And I have little tiny lady hands, so this is very difficult. So this tire is directional, and that means that the tire wants to be rotated a specific way. It doesn't really want that. So I look for a little sign on the tire that says rotation with an arrow, and I'm going to mount the tire so that when the wheel's rolling forward, the rotation of the tire matches. We're gonna start at the top, and we are going to use our body weight to try to stretch the tire down and get one side on the rim. Try to pull it down as much as possible. Then we're gonna start using every tool possible to get it on the rim. And I'm using one hand, keeping it kind of in the same spot to help The tire has kind of made its way into the center of the rim, which the tubeless rim is like, has a little dip, like a little valley in the center. And somehow that makes it easier to get on. Step 5, we're adding the sealant and putting on the other side of the tire. We are putting the other side of the tire on quite a ways down, and we're gonna try to get it also into that center valley, and that's gonna make it easier when we get to the end. So now for the really messy part. So we're gonna pour about a 1/4 cup of sealant into the tire. The amount of sealant you use is based on the volume of the tires. I'll put in the description some common amounts of sealant to use for common widths that you might encounter in your gravel bed. So now I'm just letting that sealant go around. All right, not too bad. Step 6, we're gonna add air to the tire and hope it seats on the rim. The first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to pump it up with a floor pump. So I had some air coming out of the valve, so I didn't have it quite tight enough, but I think I got that. And so sometimes when you're pumping it up, you can see like little bits of sealant coming out. That's just as it seals, but that was pretty easy. Step 6B, have contingency plans for when the tire does not seat on the rim the first try, or the second try, or the third try. Today I got really lucky using just a normal floor pump to mount this tire. I think that that's kind of an ode to the rims that I have, and then the tape and the quality of the tire, but you may not get so lucky. So the next option would be to have something like this. This is a charger pump, and so you're able to pump a lot of air into this chamber, and then you are able to release it all really fast, and that helps to allow the tire to seal. Option number 3 is to use an air compressor. So I have one here at home. You could also just use one at the gas station. Step 7, go ride. I don't think I'm very good at this. Is this what this is for? Oh God. That's it. Just gotta follow these 43 easy steps to put on your tubeless tire. Thanks for joining me on our first episode of Bike Sports TV Garage. Please come back, say hi at races, do what you want.